question.
Yeah.
Sure, so
And people were happy to share.
A lot of people came to the Cardano community.
Welcome to a new episode of Community Holds the Mic, and today we're here at Rare Evo, and this is a place where Cardano builders and community members are getting together to network and to talk about what's next. We're going straight to the source, and we will be asking the builders and community members what that means for them and what's so special about Cardano. So let's go.
How are you?
Hey.
Welcome to Rare Evo.
Thank you so much. We want to hear from you as one of the builders, part of the ecosystem. When you look back on your path personally or also with the projects you're building, how does Cardano set you up for success?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think something that's often overlooked is the impact. I know that we talk a lot about community, and that's something we've talked about a lot before, right? But one thing that Cardano has enabled for us as a project is to be able to test and experiment with things at really low cost. So when we were first experimenting with digital assets, digital ownership, we were able to do so really affordably. As people that knew nothing about blockchain when we first started, right, we were able to dip our toes in, meet people that knew a lot about it, and people were happy to share that knowledge with us. So we were able to learn, we were able to make genuine friendships, and then we were able to grow together with those people. I've had support from the Cardano Foundation, from IOHK, from Intersect, the founding entities, and I just don't see that happening in the same way that it does here. So I'm the founder of Clay Nation. My name is Lena Onto. I'm a co-founder of It's Castle Daddy, which is Castle Daddy Media with Lily Brody and the Cardano Girls. And that's another thing that I would add. I've made such amazing friends in the Cardano community, and now we run businesses together, and it's just awesome. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good question and pretty wide-ranging. But I think success for me is the fact that you don't need permission to be successful. I think that's the wonderful thing about Cardano. I mean, I guess in blockchain more generally, but when we think of on-chain governance and how decisions are made, and then being able to change those decisions within voting and redelegate to a new DREC within 5 days. You don't have to wait 4 years or really get annoyed with your representatives. You can change that and have real influence really quickly. The success there is the agency, the independent self-sovereignty agency that we all have as ADA holders, which is amazing. And then from like an Intersect perspective, some of the things that I really liked, that I'm really proud of, and it's a softer thing that we're proud of, but I've seen community members that I've never met before, and maybe that's on me, like not being able to meet them before, but since Intersect, I've now heard them on committees. They're now representing and helping influence the direction of Cardano and proposing ideas for DREPs to vote on. So Intersect has played a role, I think, in leveling up voices and being able to hear more. And it's not just about stake-based, we can do this in a much more equal way. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
And also, I would add to that, it's the opportunities that it gives to people who may be looking to get involved or come into something that they haven't tried before. I mean, it literally gives people the opportunity to begin a whole new career, to take part in something incredible. Anyone can come in. There is something for everyone, from governance to tech to marketing, and anyone can come in and find a community and a family of people who will help and support you, and it's endless and it's wonderful. Where can you get that in the world? It's a free education, I could almost say, and that to me is quite special.
I've met quite a lot of people after becoming part of the Intersect team that have entered Cardano through their social circles, and after entering Cardano they found a whole new interest, a whole new different perspective on a lot of things that they were part of and that they would like to change or implement in their own personal lives. You are able to just explore whatever you believe in, and you have the support for it, both socially speaking through everyone alongside the working groups, the committees. Everyone's just so willing to connect with each other and form that web of support around everyone else and all of the aspects. And I think personally Cardano has done that for a lot of people, including myself. I came from a very different field, and when I stepped into Cardano, people welcomed me with open arms through the entire trajectory, and I see this happening a lot at Intersect.
Thank you so much. Perfect.
Cardano contributed for all my life, to be honest, because in the past I worked with Lau and are totally different. My dream is work with art, and today I have a creative studio. I work it with a lot of different brands in Cardano. Basically, I started making just NFT auctions inside Discord, and right now I'm working with big brands like Snack. I'm working with Iago on another partnerships, and all the space are super helpful for Brazilian artists. So it's a pleasure to stay here. It's a pleasure to have all this amazing community around. They really take care of each other, and it's really special for me. Right now I have an art studio that I work for more than 6-7 different projects and help more than 5 different artists in Brazil. So Cardano totally changed my life, and that's it.
You're part of the reason why we really do love Cardano, because the energy here is just different. There's a very strong community, and I think what builders and other projects and founding entities just like Emergo, we really value that community tightness. I think what's really special about being here on Cardano is that community and also just the values of the community. We really think long-term versus short-term, and I think that's very key. So when you think of something so unique as we are the first blockchain to even have a governance like a constitution. So other blockchains have tried governance and they've done things with governance, but we are the first and only blockchain to have a constitution, to have the concept of even DREPs. So really thinking long-term, and that's just one example of why we just love being here.
For sure. So for Anvil, we've had a kind of a long history. We've been around for 4 years. We started back in the NFT boom. We were really big in the minting aspect of NFTs, and then we got into the staking side of it. So what Cardano allowed us to do was, A, create our business, right? Like, we saw a big need for developmental resources, and not just people who would like do a job and then disappear. We wanted to be the people that were reliable, that you could go to. And Cardano itself has enabled us to build like a community that supports us as a dev agency, which in the normal world, that doesn't really exist, right? Like, of course, once you get to the level of like an Apple or a Microsoft, you've got that community, right? But in Cardano, the beautiful part about it is I get direct access to my customers. They know that they can come to me and ask me a question, and I'll give them a legitimate answer, because that's how, when I came into Cardano, that's how everybody treated me. So my goal is always to like keep that pushing forward and treat people like, you know, they're just a peer, not like above or beyond anybody. Cardano itself has given us native assets. That's one of the most important parts of our business, right? We love the native asset structure because you actually own what you're trying to own rather than a smart contract reference of it. So for us, it's really important. And it's one of the, you know, besides the security and the safety and all of that, just the people, like there's a vibe about Cardano, you know, everybody's here to do something different, like get outside the box and the 9 to 5 and build something that, you know, you can create a legacy behind.
Like my past, I've been in the Cardano space for several years now, having worked with IOG and Intersect and Emergo. So I've been in, I guess you could say, the trenches of Cardano for a long time, and very proud of the progress we've made. And now with Sundial, I get to take the best of Cardano and all the amazing work we've done on the back end of the tech, and now bringing this to other ecosystems, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and so many others in the future. So the heart of all that we do at Sundial is to take Cardano to the next level for the world. You know, I think that we are among the many various like blockchains out there in the world. We're in a very privileged position. The underlying tech is very unique. The non-custodial liquid staking, huge. There isn't a need to give up your keys or your tokens. It's all yours. And now we've got recognition from the US government and others that this is, it's not a security, it's a commodity action, so it's a non-taxable event. So that's pretty remarkable. We imagine going forward, Cardano is going to be more and more recognized as essentially like industry leader for how best to structure a network that is looking to change the world.
All right, so thank you. See you later.
I came into the Cardano ecosystem because of Charles Hoskinson's TED Talk in 2014. He talked about banking the unbanked. He talked about decentralized future, using blockchain for social and environmental impact. And that's why I chose Cardano for our home base. Socius is building platforms for social and environmental impact. We have Socius Fund that is helping social entrepreneurs raise capital through grant and crowdfunding platform using quadratic voting. And we're using Hyperledger Identitas, which is an identity infrastructure for Cardano to combat civil attacks and fraud in the voting counts. And we are trying to solve the problem of funding gap between female founders and also founders coming from the emerging markets. Only 2% of funding is going to women and only 2.8% going to the emerging markets. So we are trying to solve that problem through our quadratic voting and using verified credentials and DIDs. We are actually trying to realize the dream and vision of Charles. Because of Charles' vision, a lot of people came to the Cardano community, and we found so many like-minded people within the community who want to use this technology for real impact, social and environmental impact. It's been a journey, and I'm grateful for the community support.
Cardano had a lot of foresight in the beginning to actually set up a process that helps self-fund and self-sustain the ecosystem through the lenses of Cardano Treasury. And the Project Catalyst was one of those first recipients that allowed to redistribute those funds towards the rest of the community. And when I reflect back on the last 4 and 5 years in Project Catalyst to see where we started with that Fund 0, Fund 1, which was the $250,000 of value, to see now the whole ecosystem has been supported with $150 million of value, more than 2,000 projects now being funded, 86% completions rate. It's fascinating to see how these builders and founders across different facets of the Cardano ecosystem are using Project Catalyst over the years as a public innovation square to actually go out there, be vulnerable, and essentially collaborate with the community to learn more about their projects, how they're communicating them, learn about what works, what doesn't, and then go out there and be confident enough to go and deploy it. Which is crazy to think about it, that virtually every facet of the Cardano ecosystem has had one side or another exposure to Catalyst, and it's through the collaborative community team spirit that they're able to come back, learn, iterate, and then essentially not be afraid to go out there and tinker their ideas in a way that they probably couldn't have elsewhere, because in a traditional sense, a lot of times you don't get a lot of feedback and you want to learn, you want to get better. And what the Cardano community is really good at is providing feedback, sometimes very actively, and as long as you're taking it constructively, you're able to supercharge whatever ideas you have and then just take it to the next level, because you have a community very passionate that cares about its success. And it's really exciting to see how the builders, the educators, everyone who's participating and chipping in to creates basically the sum of all parts is greater than any of us individually. And that's amazing to see continue to happening. And equally here at Rare Evo this year, when the governance and all of those collaboration layers are taking really front stage in front of everybody. So yeah, it's been fascinating 4 or 5 years now, and I can't wait to see what the next 5 are going to look like.
It's so funny because it's in my daily routine now to check in with the Hosky Discord, to check in with Cardano Twitter. It's really become so much of a part of my life now, a part of my wardrobe, obviously. So I've met lasting friends through the Cardano ecosystem, and this community is unmatched. I think he might just be another random meme coin if he was on Solana or any of these other networks. His passion of education wouldn't have shown through on another chain, I guess. That's what I would say.
Cardano's coming together. Cardano provides a community and kind of a home for us as a project. So when we figured out that Cardano could provide everything that we need on the tech side, we also figured out over time that Cardano can give us everything we need on the community side. These events like Rare Evo or like the Cardano Summit are the events where you come together with the people that empower you to keep on building, and even in darker times, because we all know that we're coming out of a brutal bear market, and the community is what keeps you going. And whenever you're down, you have someone to talk to or someone to meet, and that's pretty cool. For me, I think that's the biggest reason why Cardano is home.
why Cardano for me is because I feel I can be a player in this ecosystem and I can have a voice. The expressiveness of this ecosystem, the participation, the amount of things to be involved in is all coming alive. And for a little guy like me, that's the value return, is I'm a part of this ecosystem, and if I get integrated in the right projects, it's going to elevate me. I don't feel like that opportunity exists cross-chain.
One thing has become very clear today. The Cardano community is going strong. They support each other, and if you want to learn more about Cardano, then just tune into our next videos, follow your favorite Cardano people, and if you haven't done that yet, just start out and they will welcome you with open arms.